Hello vinyl community, and thank you once again for tuning into Mike's Vinyl Experience. I appreciate you all so very much for being with me here today, and it's great to be back with you. Last week we took a little vacation to see family down in Scottsdale, Arizona. While I was there, I had a little bit of extra time and was able to make the really short trip into Phoenix and go to the In-Groove. Mike wasn't there, darn it. But I was able to go in there and do some record shopping and had some really nice success. One of the albums that I picked up from Mike's down at the In-Groove was a new release. Well, I think it's a reissue of a release that's come out a few years back. But one of my releases, or one of the albums that I picked up, I've been listening to it since we got back. It's a great album, and I thought maybe I would give a quick little review of this album with you. It is the Dave Brubeck Quartet, Time Further Out. Now, of course, everyone's kind of seen and heard a whole bunch of talk about Time Out, which is a great album in its own right. This was actually the album right after in the Time series albums, if you will, of the Dave Brubeck Quartet. And so this was right after Time Out. What a great little album this is. So this is the second album, as indicated, in the Dave Brubeck Quartet's exploration, I guess you will, of time signatures. What they've done is, on this album, is what they've done here. They have categorized all their songs in what they call beats per bar. And so it's a Raggedy Waltz is a 3/4, Bluette is in 3/4, Charles Matthew Hallelujah is in 4/4, Far More Blue is in 5/4, all the way down to Blue Shadows in the Street, the last song on the album, which is in 9/8. And so really what they've kind of done, and like I say, this is the second in this time signature series that they did. Obviously, the first was Time Out by the Dave Brubeck group. Then came this one in 1961. That one was in 1959, came out. Then the next one was in 1962 called Countdown Time in Outer Space. That one was dedicated to John Glenn because of his space exploration. I believe he orbited the Earth once or twice, or maybe 3 times, and they dedicated that album to him. And then the next one was in 1963 called Time Changes, and then the final one was Time In Back Here. All of the albums, and I've just got digital copies of Countdown Time in Outer Space and Time Changes. I need to get them on vinyl. But all of these, time signature albums, if you will, are all done well. The music is excellent. It's excellent on each one of the albums. There's really not one of them that I think is terrible or bad. They are different, but they're all very good. This one in particular has very, very good music. I love the music. One of the cool things about this album is the artwork. Like Time Out, the Dave Brubeck Quartet has used modern art on these series of albums. The only one they didn't was on Time In, the last one. But they've all used modern art. This one is kind of unique, and I think it's really pretty cool. It's done by a Spanish artist by the name of John Miro. When we were in Barcelona, Spain, we had an opportunity to go through his museum there, and it was really kind of neat. And then to see this album and the art cover, the artwork on it is really kind of cool. But that's another kind of a neat thing about the album. And the album cover is done very, very nice. It looks really, really nice as well. So kind of a neat little thing about the album cover. This is on Impex. It's as indicated. It's a reissue. Impex reissued this, I think, back in 2010, 2011. But then this has just been recently reissued by Impex recording. In fact, I think Mike down at the In Groove, this was one of his new arrivals from last week. And I was glad to pick one up because I really like the Dave Brubeck Quartet. I think the music is wonderful. But in listening to this album, I've got to tell you, it's really a neat and fun album to listen to. The music, if you're into the Dave Brubeck Quartet, is very similar, obviously. It's just great. The quartet consists of Dave Brubeck on piano, of course, Paul Desmond on alto sax, Eugene Wright on bass, and Joe Morello is on the drums. It's a particularly well-recorded album. I don't have an original 1961 pressing, but just sounding from this album, it's obvious that it was done very well. So I'm sure an original pressing sounds excellent equally as well. But this is just a great sounding album. I've had a lot of fun playing and listening to this. In fact, on the first track, Raggedy Waltz, it's really a fun song. The Paul Desmond sax is excellent sounding. Eugene Waite's bass is well defined, and the drums are really nice sounding. I can say that pretty much throughout the entire album. They're really, really nice. The sax, and there are some cuts that are better than others, to be upfront and honest with you. For example, let's just go to side B on Far More Drums, the song Far More Drums on side B. There's a couple of drum solos in there, and they are really nice. They're excellent. They sound great. I really wanted to turn it up, and I did, and it sounds really, really nice. What a great cut that is. Bluette, the second song on side A, is excellent. Far More Blue is a really, really nice song. Love it. It's more of a, I don't know, mellow, a little bit more mellow of a song, where the others mostly are upbeat. To me, and my personal tastes, Blue Shadows in the Street, the last song on side B, to me is the best song on the album. It's just an excellent album. Really love listening to this. This will be an album that I listen to quite a bit, as I do everything else that I have of Dave Brubeck. Certainly love his music, and this is absolutely no different. This is a great sounding album, and I think Impex does a really nice job cutting these albums. Incidentally, just before I get too far out, the album was mastered by George Mariano at Sterling Sound in New York, and then cut at RTI. It's quiet. It's very quiet. There's not a lot of background noise. The album, this is side one. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's really a nice, clean album. Excellent album. Good sounding. I don't know, to be honest with you, if I would classify this as a reference sounding album. Like Time Out. Time Out is absolutely a reference sounding album. And whereas this album sounds really, really nice, I don't think that this album is, in my opinion, is in the same caliber as Time Out. Now I know Time Out, this is the Analog Productions version. It's the 33 RPM version, not the 45. But I really think Time Out, I think that's really an audiophile reference type album, whereas Time Further Out is certainly a wonderful album, full of, by the way, very, very good music. Impex has done a really nice job with this. It sounds really, really nice. Short of reference quality, in my own humble opinion. Does it sound very nice? Do you want to put it on and crank it up? Absolutely. It sounds very, very nice. The music on it is really the most important part, as it is on any album, obviously. But the music on this album is just excellent and first rate. I think the world of the music on this. That's why I know that I'll be pulling it out and listening to it. And absolutely, if you've got an audiophile system, it's going to sound good on it. In particular, the piano, everything on here, sax, drums, the bass, it all sounds phenomenal. It's a good sounding album. I think just short of reference quality, but they did a great job with the sound on this. Impex did a really, really nice job. I highly recommend the album. In particular, if you're a fan of Dave Brubeck, certainly an album that I would definitely add to your collection if you're into that type of jazz music, as I am. Great album, highly recommended, great sounding album. As indicated, I wouldn't go so far as saying it's a reference audiophile quality sounding. Audiophile album, yes. Reference sounding, I don't think so. Not in my opinion anyway, but sounds very, very nice. So I've got a slew of videos coming up. Really quick, we're going to be reviewing Vanessa Fernandez, Remember Me. This is an album that just was released maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We're going to be reviewing that album. I've just received the Otis Redding, Dock of the Bay, Atlantic 75, and Analog Productions album. We're going to be doing a quick review of that album as well. And this one might be interesting to a lot. I have and just received, although I haven't unboxed it yet, the Mobile Fidelity Dire Straits on Every Street. I'm going to be comparing the Mobile Fidelity version to this original pressing that I have. I've got all of Mobile Fidelity's releases of Dire Straits, and the reason I purchased On Every Street is I wanted to complete that collection of them. Dire Straits albums, as all of you probably are very well aware of, their original pressings sound great. So does it better this one? Well, we'll wait and see and find out. But we'll be doing a review on that upcoming as well. Also going to be doing the room tour, likely towards the latter part in the next, well, I shouldn't say the latter part of this week, but in the next few days I'm going to be doing that. Even though it's not complete, we're going to give you kind of an impression of what we got going on and what's happening currently and what we're planning in the future. But got a whole bunch of neat videos coming up. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate that. That's great. I'll keep you up to date when I have a new video coming out, which, as indicated, we're going to be having quite a few in the next short little while coming out. And then, as always, thank you for your comments in the comment section below. It's been very, very helpful to me. Thank you so much. I am particularly grateful for all the comments that I received on my buying changes that I made to how I buy albums with this upcoming year. I appreciate the comments and your suggestions and your ideas. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Even thank you so much for the recommendations in music as we talk about all these different albums and these different, jazz music, rock music, folk music, whatever it might be. Thank you for all your suggestions on that. I greatly appreciate it so very much. Thank you once again and have a great day.